This API allows us to register an Excel file stored in Amazon S3 and convert the contents of that Excel file into JSON format. The testing process consists of 4 main steps: a health check, API key verification, registering the S3 file, and converting the Excel sheet to JSON. Let's begin with the first step. Step 1: Health check. The first test we perform is the health check. This step confirms that the server is running properly and that the AWS credentials are correctly configured in the system. In Postman, we set the request method to GET. The URL we use is http://13.206.5.98:5000/health. After sending the request, the server should return a response that contains several important fields. These include the status of the server, a timestamp, the API version, and a field called AWS credentials configured. If everything is configured correctly, the status will show healthy, and AWS credentials configured will be true. This indicates that the server is running properly and that the AWS access key and secret key from the environment configuration file are loaded successfully. If this field is false, it means the AWS credentials were not configured properly. In that case, we would need to check the .env file and confirm that both AWS access key ID and AWS secret access key are set correctly, and then restart the server. Once we confirm that the health check is successful, we move to the next step. Step 2: Verify API key. The second step verifies that our API key is valid and confirms which user account is authenticated. For this test, we again use a GET request. The URL we use is http://13.206.5.98:5000/API/me. However, this endpoint requires authentication, so we must include a header in our request. XAPI key. And the value is skadmin 0000000000000000. After sending the request, the server should return a response indicating success. It will also include details about the authenticated user. The response typically contains fields like user ID, name, and role. In this case, the user is the administrator with the role of admin. If we receive an invalid API key error, it usually means the header name or value was entered incorrectly. The header name must be exactly XAPI key with no extra spaces. Once the API key is verified successfully, we proceed to the next step. Step 3: Register S3 URI. In the third step, we register the S3 URI of the Excel file. It is important to note that the file itself is not uploaded through the API. Instead, we simply provide the S3 location of the file so that the API knows where to access it. For this test, we use a POST request. The URL is http://13.206.5.98:5000/API/upload. In the headers section, we keep the same XAPI key header that we used in the previous step. We also add another header, content type, and set its value to application/JSON. Next, we go to the body section in Postman. We select raw and choose JSON format. Then we provide the S3 URI of our Excel file. For example, s3//taxwizz file/zerodha.xlsx. After sending this request, the API registers the file and returns several pieces of information. The most important value returned here is the file ID. This is a unique identifier generated by the system for the uploaded file reference. The response also includes the file name, the S3 URI, the file size in megabytes, and information about the sheets present in the Excel file. For example, it may show that the file contains a sheet named Sheet 1 along with the number of rows and columns. We must copy the file ID from this response because it will be required in the next step. Step 4: Convert Excel to JSON. The final step is converting the Excel sheet into JSON format. For this test, we use a POST request again. The URL is http://13.206.5.98:5000/API/convert. We keep the same headers as before, including the XAPI key header.